A call to order this meeting of the Community Housing Board. Great. So the first thing this evening, we're just kind of going through, this is a special extra meeting to try to get all the way through the RFP. But since we're here, we might as well just approve some minutes. So take a little look-see. See.
We post the draft of the RFP on the website.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I can look.
Well, we didn't.
I mean, I know we didn't.
Jessica
We
did.
collectively. Collective royal we.
Does anybody feel motiony?
Make a motion.
All right, all right, all in favor? All
Aye.
right, so approved, perfect, okay, so let's move on, let's see, I have notes that we stopped on,
We're kind of half on the top of page 4, bottom of page 3.
yeah, so we basically were at the project relevant information.
Yeah.
So, let's see, project development. So I'm just gonna kind of read these off. Project development by offer selected. I don't know what kind of legalese that is. Subject properties owned by town of Shelter Island, she says, please confirm, confirmed. Housing board to purchase fee interest and subject properties upon completion. I think that that should be the town, right? Not us. Subjects properties leased to the offer selected. Yeah, it's a land lease. Management of constructed subject properties by offer selected, subject to covenants. That seems like what we talked about.
Are we not concerned about the 10 years there? Is that gonna be,
Last time we talked about the 10 years,
50 years.
sufficient, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so will we had that amount of time,
That was still open about what we should do.
yeah.
oh, about the time for the,
Term of the lease?
Term of the lease.
Yeah.
10 years is too short.
yeah, so what we had talked about based on David, and I had another like side conversation with Miriam, I'm gonna bring these notes back to her, Miriam's our lawyer for this, is it does feel like it should probably be somewhere in between 50 and like 99 years, just for the financing. So the financing alone probably lends us towards like a 50 or 60 year, just because you'd want to have two 30-year terms, right, to be able to get the, but anyway, I was gonna bring it back to her for her like expert advice.
Yeah.
On that one.
Did you have any conversation with her since?
Yeah, I mean, I did have a small conversation about that,
All
just
right.
some of the initial notes.
Wondering about,
Yeah, we were gonna
what
go,
about 40, but I guess I hear what you're saying about a double 30, so.
yeah. A two, like that was,
All right.
yeah, so I was thinking, oh, David Doyle is waiting in lobby.
Oh, on Zoom?
Oh, yeah, can you?
Okay, yeah, it's no name, so I didn't know
Okay.
who it was. Okay. Got it.
Cool,
Gotcha.
okay. All right, so, well, let's wait for David to get in here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, David, we're so happy you're here.
It's muted.
Can you turn on your,
So you can.
technically, we have to have your video on, so I know you're looking,
He's on an iPhone, so.
you should be able to turn.
Did they not
I hate it so much.
anyway?
I don't, he
Well,
might
let
just
him-
be voice. He might not be.
Well, let's
Right.
let him get started.
I was on a call and just being off mute was awful, and I couldn't get the video to work. I'm in Arkansas,
Okay.
and
Sorry
I,
for
I'm
it.
not sure they have video.
Okay, no worries.
Not sure they have a lot of
In
it.
Arkansas.
Not sure they have a lot of
In
it.
Arkansas.
Fair enough, fair enough. I do have, fair enough. I do have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
A question for you.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna be a little echoey. Which is about we were talking about the term, and we had said about, we talked about last time that, we thought like the minimum term should be like 50 or 60 years with the with a max up to 99, thinking that you'd be able to do 2 30-year financing terms. I just wondered if you had any other thoughts on that beyond what we talked about last time.
He's muted again.
I don't. I think 50 is short, and because it's going to be hard to refinance. So I would go with 60 or 99.
Okay, cool.
But
I will
but
take-
we could also talk to a HUD lender and see, if there's any advantage or disadvantage. I can do that call tomorrow and send you an email if they
That would
have
be-
a pricing preference.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
I will do
Okay.
that.
Cool. Cool. All right, I'm gonna keep going. All
Yeah.
right, keep going.
I'm gonna go on mute because I assume you're
Yeah.
hearing an echo.
Okay, thank you. Note, the development agreement, construction contract, lease covenants, and restrictions to be drafted by the housing board and its council and required to be executed by the selected offerer after the awarding of the RFP. So that seems right, and we already kind of have some loose guidelines in there of how we want to do it, so we're not all the way there, but we don't have to start from nothing. As guidance, the housing fund, I think we mean board,
Board.
expects the following to be addressed in your response. Note, needs some clarity to be responsible. I think that's fine. I think the housing board. Existing conditions include demo and clearing restrictions, narrative, combined 3-lot survey, acreage zoning, preliminary site plan, building envelope, siting of sewage treatment facility.
Well, I don't know if you.
It's not gonna be a treatment facility.
It's going to
Be the what is it?
with the IA, whatever.
IA
system.
yeah.
What do we take out the word
Yeah.
facility?
Treatment.
Yeah, I'm just say sewage treatment.
No, I would just say
So,
Septic.
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 That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll add in septic there. New construction of not less than 10 affordable rental units of housing. So the target cohort is, we had said, she had put in 60 to 120, but I think it's actually 80 to 130. So really, I mean, we could put the bottom number wherever we want. It's just like that top number to be in line with the county funding, right? And I believe that county funding number is 130. So whatever it is, it just has to be consistent through the whole thing. I think that 60 feels low because I don't know how we could say it's a target given the rents that we need to charge for these. It feels a little
Oh, I see.
disingenuous, you know what I mean? So my thought would be to put in 80 to 130.
One question I have, if you do 60, isn't the renter have the potential to get grants from the state or county to pay market rent, and so the difference is made up even if the rents are lower. They get they pay what they can, and then
Section
the
Yeah.
difference is made up by the county.
I mean, that's
I
a
thought
good,
that's how it worked. It went down to 60.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, I think we could, I think that we would probably take section 8 anyway.
You
Maybe
cannot.
we have to take section
Right.
8 anyway, but I just wonder if putting in that it's 60%, given the market rents that we need to, like, I just wonder if that looks weird, you know? Cause the rents are gonna be kind of high. For somebody at 60, like, I agree with, I do think that that they should be able to make the rent using that program. I don't know. I'm open to, do you wanna leave it?
The one thing to think about, because I went through this in Connecticut, is 60 all sounded good. And then I came to find out after about 5 months that the fund that would fund these housing credits has been depleted and isn't going to be filled up for a couple of years. So on all practical purposes, nobody had the money to give these grants out. So it said 60, but it was useless. So before we do that, we should check with New York and see if New York has capital that they could actually, facilitate it. Otherwise, I think it's a waste of time and leave it at 80.
Okay, I can check in with county.
Well, section 8 isn't a grant, it's a program.
Right.
And they pay 100% to the landlord. It's actually beneficial for the landlord to accept because they get that money on time, all the time.
Okay.
And I don't
It's a
think-
question of whether the state has funding for additional participants in the program. It's not a right? There's a finite amount of there's a finite amount of cash in the Section 8 budget. And if you're the last person and they're out of money, you're not going to get it, even though you qualify for it.
Okay. But I think that that'll be easy enough to figure out. So we'll say it'll either be 60 to 130, or if we don't think it's feasible that anybody would have access to those funds, then we'll say 80 to 130. Unit mix will be determined by committee in consultation with planning department and Suffolk. I think she means Suffolk County Department of Health Services. So we don't have a planning department. So would it be, I don't know if the unit, I don't know, I feel like we're pretty, I mean, if for some reason they saw something to do more, I mean, we would be open to it, but maybe that is, the unit mix will be determined by committee and in consultation with just Suffolk County Department of Health Services, because I don't know who else we would, that's kind of it. It's like, what's okay for water and sewer, right?
Yeah,
Or septic,
am I
sorry.
cheating here? Do I have the cheat copy? Because it looks like that was crossed out and subsequently unit mix has already been determined.
Yeah, that's what I have too. Unit
Yeah,
mixes are.
are you down here?
Well, I'm seeing this, but this is crossed out up here. The unit mix will be determined by committee and consultation. That is scratched through.
Oh, I probably gave you the most updated copy. And I
Okay.
took the old one, so
Would you like it?
maybe I will, thank you. I was like, if I go outside.
I went and got another copy because you were reading some things I didn't see.
Which draft are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I gave my draft to him, because.
July 8th draft.
I can give you mine marked. I can give you this one, even though.
You got it memorized?
No, I don't have it memorized, but I thought I was wrong because of what was being read, and I wasn't wrong. So here you go.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I have both of them, so.
I
I think we got it.
A quick little sidebar, Peter, do you know if how much Section 8 is on the island right now?
I knew of one, they left 8 years ago, 5 years ago.
Because I didn't think there was,
I'm very interested in this conversation. We have so many pages.
you're right,
I, like,
you're right.
We've already had to do an extra meeting to do this, so.
But no, your answer, I have no idea.
Okay. Not that I'm not deeply interested.
yeah.
I'm just like,
Sure.
all right, okay, please address in, following our suggestions. Oh, let's see, the unit mix has already been determined to wit, South Ferry, 6 one-bedroom units, under 600, and we're in North Ferry, 2 two-bedroom units per lot.
Isn't there a maximum square feet on that also?
Do we have to
I don't-
follow town, Amber?
I don't,
780 square feet.
yeah, so that's just the regular, the 600 is like an additional something put in, so
Yeah, but I mean, if you're sending this out, I think if there's something, if there is a maximum they can go to in square feet, I
Well,
think it should be there.
Minimum.
Right, I'm sorry, wrong words.
So you're saying to put, so,
I believe 780 square feet is the minimum on the first floor.
Yeah, I just had to double
But I
check.
thought that we were limited to 600 square feet.
okay, hold on, let's stop, we're talking about two different things.
Things.
So
Okay.
the only, so I actually think that we don't need to put those on there because the one-bedroom units have an additional restriction that you would
Right.
never be able to find in our code because it's put on by Suffolk Health. So I don't think we need to put the square footage stuff in for Manwaring and North Ferry because there's no other special restrictions. It's just Shelter Island code. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm not gonna overthink it.
Soundproofing between floors for studio units at South Ferry. Additional storage must be provided in all units for all site, either standalone or basement. Laundry, washer, dryer, dishwasher in each unit. Patio or balcony outdoor space for every unit. Outdoor recreation areas. Site ingress, egress, roadway, and 1.5 parking spaces per unit of housing. Dark sky compliant site lighting. Anderson 400 or equivalent hurricane rated impact resistant egress windows. Superior interior finishes for functionality, durability, low maintenance costs. Landscaping with native vegetation per natural resources guidelines. Rain gardens, solar units, universal EV charging station, on-demand hot water, modular construction preferred, universal Wi-Fi.
Can we just go back to the
Yeah,
400? New York State Code does not necessarily mean they have to be hurricane-proof windows,
okay,
but you wouldn't, in the basement or storage, there has to be plywood coverings for each window.
okay.
Even if you don't go to hurricane-proof, it's much less per window.
So.
Do you see
are
what I'm saying?
Are you saying that maybe don't do as highly rated?
Correct. Hurricane-proof. It's not mandatory in New York State to have
Okay.
hurricane-proof. But you do need,
Right,
any new build has to have
Like a
plywood.
shutter or something.
Yeah.
A plywood, please, and they're just located in the basement.
well, do we want,
I mean, it'd be great to have hurricane-proof because they're very,
well, I think this is like, kind of like, obviously, we might not have solar units on everything or a universal EV, like, this is kind of like, you just need to address it, so
okay,
I think what
then
we're
let's
saying
leave
is
it in,
like,
yeah.
this is like our wish list, and they could say, well, we're not gonna do that, but we are
Okay.
gonna do this other thing.
Gotcha.
Plywood.
But Peter, on what you were just saying with the Anderson 400, it says or equivalent hurricane
You
rated.
don't need hurricane-proof windows.
No, it doesn't say hurricane proof. It says or equivalent hurricane rated. So what is Anderson 400 rated at?
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah, so it doesn't say hurricane proof. It says they have to have a rating similar to Anderson 400. So I think it's fine. Yeah.
All right, expectations. The committee is seeking an all-inclusive, full-service development property management firm that is immediately available to commence pre-development activities within 10 days of contract signing. Note, the offer may be one or two firms, the second representing management, so long as the separate entity and all principals are identified in the response, and such firm answers all the questions applicable to the first firm as set forth herein, except with respect to the architectural and design components, but tailors its response to experience and fee quote for its services as a management company. The selection of management team must be acceptable to the community housing board in town in its sole and absolute discretion. Sure. To complete the construction of the project within 30 months, the design must adhere to Shelter Island architectural vernacular, must meet New York State stretch code. The town of Shelter Island embraces inclusive and universal design and net zero energy. Proposers strongly encouraged to use AIA design build family of documents. Okay, scope of services. The housing board desires to contract with a developer to work with and represent as applicable the housing board in development, construction, leasing, management of the subject properties. The development partner's responsibilities and tasks will include, but not be limited to, the following in phases: general tasks. In consultation with the housing board and the broader community, develop a pro forma plan which addresses the goals and objectives of the housing board and the residents and results in a viable new sustainable community. Assist the housing board with implementing the overall development plans, coordinate the functions of each of the development team members, and address all the issues and communications in conjunction with the housing board and the funding sources. Procure subcontractors, design, engineering services, and other consultants as needed for the expeditious, successful implementation of the development program, and manage the subject properties once developed. Participate in team meetings, housing board meetings, consultants meetings, resident meetings, and other related meetings as necessary. Provide for the construction, leasing up of, and management of the rental units at the subject properties pursuant to the terms of the construction contract between the housing board and the selected offeror. Note, the housing board will attempt to assist in applying for county, local grants and other municipal funding resources on behalf of the development, with the ability to finance construction as the sole responsibility of the selected offeror. The housing board will attempt to assist in obtaining county home funds and other funding sources from municipalities that may be available.
One quick thing.
Mhm.
In the general tasks, do you see any place where you think town board should be added also? That's,
Yeah.
as I read that. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was,
First and then.
yeah,
Participate in team meetings,
Yeah, but that's actually.
Yeah.
good.
like
Maybe it's like
at the
in town
very
board.
end, yeah, meetings, comma, town board.
Is it okay if I move on to specific tasks, and if you have a
I mean,
feeling?
I think of like.
Amber may come back on that one.
Yeah. Okay, specific tasks. Coordinate all aspects of construction development with the other consultants and advisors to the project. Work with the housing board collaboratively, consult with all the appropriate agencies in the area to coordinate the provision of services, work with the project architects and engineers to ensure the appropriate design criteria are encompassed to facilitate these services, and complete the project in a timely manner. In consultation with the housing board, prepare all necessary applications to the town for site plan approval variances. Make all submissions and reports, including the Affordable Fair Housing Marketing Plan, to federal, state, and local agencies as may be required, and provide for housing board review, and if requested, approval prior to submission. Ensure compliance with all applicable federal, state, and local rules and regulations with regards to all aspects of construction, management, and leasing of the subject properties. Secure all financing, local approvals, arrange for and complete construction of the proposed project, and coordinate activities, all in consultation with the housing board and as specified herein. The only thing that I had in that whole thing is it says like around the Affordable Fair Housing Marketing Plan, it says if requested. And I'm just like, we're for sure gonna request it, so. I don't know. That's
That's
like-
requested.
Yeah, like I was like, we're gonna definitely wanna have a lot of feelings and thoughts and about how it's gonna be marketed, so. Okay, Whew. Here we go. Proposals and selection process, experience. Offers must list principal staff who will work on this proposed project and include their development and construction management knowledge as well as management of the subject properties after completion of development. Provide a list of completed projects as well as those currently in development and or construction. Your response should demonstrate the qualifications of the firm and all professional principals and their respective qualifications. If you intend to engage a separate management company to manage subject properties, the response must be a joint response demonstrating your qualifications and the qualifications of the management company and delineate clearly areas of responsibility. Pro forma. Offers must provide a pro forma with the proposed cost breakdown. Please provide a pro forma financial estimates for the stabilized project. Include a cost breakdown if using the plan and says if, taking that out, using the plan and designs presented as well as you choose a modified plan to present the cost breakdown for the modified plan as well. Financial stability, licensing, capacity, and availability. Qualifications shall include the most recent certified business financial statements of the offeror as to date not earlier than the end of the offeror's preceding official tax account period, together with a statement in writing by a duly authorized representative, stating that the present financial condition is materially the same as the financial condition shown on the balance sheet and income statement submitted, or with an explanation for the material change in the financial condition. Yes.
Are we sure that in all instances, they're going to be able to get certified and that they will have current certified? I mean, some,
Yeah.
I don't, not everyone does all of their financial
You want to do compile?
Yeah, because there is a standard for CPAs. It's not as onerous.
Right, certified.
And if we can get tax returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's put in compile. A copy of the most recent business income tax return and pro forma unaudited financial statements for the last 3 years will be accepted if certified financial statements are unavailable. Do we feel like that changes anything?
Change to compile.
Okay. Firms must demonstrate that they are affiliated with or hold all required licenses for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, civil, and structural engineering, as well as architecture and on-site wastewater treatment. Do they? Do you have to is that the right way to say it for septic?
Because a builder isn't necessarily certified in mechanical or
Right,
electrical.
right.
They have subcontract, I would use the word subcontractor in there.
So that they are affiliated with, but I guess my question is like, it says wastewater treatment. Is that the right way to say it for septic?
No, it's again, it's not a wastewater
Treatment, right.
on-site septic system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, on-site septic system. Firms must demonstrate financial and personal capacity to manage and execute all aspects of pre-development and development of the subject properties, including the ability to secure payment and performance bond and deliver to the housing board a fully completed project with unconditional certificates of occupancy. Authorization and license to practice. Include an affirmative statement that the offeror is authorized to conduct business in the state of New York and the assigned personnel are properly licensed to work within the state of New York. Firm qualification.
What about, and the town of Shelter Island? Because we require our own license.
Oh,
They would have to
Copies of
apply.
their
Yeah.
license.
Well, hold on. They, at the time they submit, they don't necessarily have to be licensed on Shelter Island, but it would be a requirement in order to proceed to get licensed on Shelter.
I wouldn't even give them that, I'd just say they have to get, it doesn't take that long to get licensed, it's just showing them that they have insurance and everything.
Which they should,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, just how long do they have to respond to this?
I don't know, let's look at the,
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking,
yeah,
if, I would give them a timeframe in which to produce that as opposed to,
30 days?
yeah. That's within 30 days of their submission. Yeah, that makes sense.
okay. Firm qualifications and experience, state that name of the firm's key telephone numbers, fax number, address, and email addresses, fax.
Yeah, get rid of fax, nobody wants that. That is fixing your roof.
It's-
Indicate how long the firm has been
It's still
providing
everything.
services, the main concentration and experience of the firm, and the size and location of the firm. Principal in charge, team leader, indicate the company status of this individual, professional background, qualifications, experience, and other relevant information. Identify and provide the resumes of key personnel to be assigned to the project. Provide a listing of recent and current projects with completion dates, include project listings for relevant development services, and provide the name of client, owner, point of contact, and phone number. List any relevant services provided by your firm that would benefit the town. Firm's proximity to project location, state the number of miles the project location is to the established local office of your firm that would be managing the project. Explain what tools you would use to ensure the effective management of the project based on distance. Offer response must demonstrate qualifications of the firm and the professional principles in their respective qualifications, including but not limited to architecture, general contracting, construction, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, civil, structural engineering, lighting, landscape, commercial design, solar, on-site, septic, and water use. Further, the response should identify any material litigation or judgments against all firms involved and the principals. Scope of services in connection with construction. Services shall include architectural engineering services at all phases of construction, including but not limited to residential structures with interior fire suppression, if multifamily roadway and parking, drainage, landscaping, appropriate sewage, septic,
And, yeah,
bringing public water, nope.
Just cross that whole thing out.
That's all can go.
I think you want to leave in, like, get rid of bringing public, but water
Suffolk County,
in coordination with Suffolk County Department of Health.
Okay.
yeah.
That part.
And then you can get rid of the RPC there.
yeah.
Notes.
So we're saying that these, one of the services that should be included is bringing Suffolk County water in?
No,
We're
No.
Taking a
crossing that
well.
out.
No,
We're taking that
There you
out.
go.
taking that out.
Yeah.
They have to get the well or wells dug,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it has to
this
be
is just like
It has to
what-
meet
like-
Suffolk
like-
County Health.
Yeah,
approved. Yeah,
yeah, that's where we're like, that needs to be scrapped, but the coordination with Suffolk County, that, it has to be like real water, but it's not public, yeah, that's what we're saying. Boop, 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 surveys, inspection services, preparation of permit applications, and all in blah, 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 and all involved agencies pertaining to utilities, highway department, development of planning, and environmental studies as required. This list is not exhaustive, and any typical development services are not specifically mentioned here should be presumed included.
Scratch SC everywhere.
Yeah, you got to scratch.
yeah, just suffocate, because we don't have to go in front of the
Yeah.
water authority, it'd be just health department.
It's health.
Yeah, okay. Technical proposal and format. Along with the offer's response, offer must submit conceptual graphic representation of the project vision with site layout showing ingress, egress, and building clustering for subject properties. The winning offer will be required to produce a minimum of 3 schematic designs for consideration.
I'd say one per board member.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that many though? Really?
There, what are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
Plus town.
Yeah, but I'd say 8.
Okay.
All they have to do is make copies.
For some reason in my mind, I was thinking 8 different variations. And I was like, love the spirit, Peter.
Have
Like,
8 copies.
I was like, I like it. Housing Board reserves the right to waive any and all minor irregularities and formalities in this RFP or any proposal, and to accept or reject any or all proposals. The Housing Board reserves the right to negotiate with any and all offers. The term offer or proposer are used interchangeably through this RFP. All proposals, offers must be submitted on or before the proposal date. Each proposal offer shall remain firm and shall not be changed or withdrawn for a period of 120 days after the proposal date without the prior written consent of the Housing Board. Submission of the proposal offer shall be deemed consent to the proposal remaining open and firm for such period. Oh my gosh, you guys are forgetting there. Okay. This RFP does not impose or represent any obligation or commitment or agreement whatsoever on the part of the Housing Board, which may only be incurred or entered into by one or more formal, written, and fully executed agreements with the successful offers as determined by the Housing Board in its sole and exclusive discretion. Is that this is determined by the Housing?
Yeah, I know,
Is
like
that-
town board.
Jessica, can you let David back in?
He's not in the waiting room. There's no one.
Okay. He just.
I saw him leave, but.
Okay, he said he said that he was, but maybe just keep an eye out for him. I wonder, I'm just gonna like circle that because
Yeah.
it feels like, well, we'll be coordinated with, the Housing Board will be coordinating, the agreement will actually be with the
Town
town.
board.
So I'm just gonna ask Miriam, like, should that be the town right there? I don't know. See what she says.
The Housing Board, in its sole and exclusive discretion by the town board?
Like, I don't know, I guess what I'm.
Well, the
I
town
wanna-
board has the final say.
Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna go back to her and say, hey, is that what it should say, or should it be the town board there? I don't know what's, because the town board would, like I said, we're gonna take the coordinating role, but the town board will be who the agreement is with. So whatever language needs to,
Same with the next paragraph.
exactly. The Housing Board, so I'm just gonna circle this and just ask her, like, is this the right, may at any time reject any and all proposal offers, amend or withdraw the RFP in whole or in part, and negotiate with one or more offers. Negotiation with any offer will not create any obligations on the part of the Housing Board or create any rights for the offer, including without limitation, rights of award, enforcement, equity, or reimbursement. All determinations as to the completeness or compliance of any proposals or as to the eligibility of the qualification of any offer will be within the sole and exclusive direction of, circling that to, is that the Housing Board or the Town Board? Like, how is that worded? All costs and expenses, including those for experts or consultants incurred in responding to this request for proposal and preparing or submitting a proposal, offer, or negotiating any terms and conditions within any proposal shall be borne by the offer proposer. Under no circumstances should the Housing Board be liable. I think that really feels like the town. Liable for any such costs or expenses. An evaluation committee will review the submittals in accordance with the terms herein. Offers may be invited to make oral presentations. The Housing Board desires to engage the best qualified proposer that in the Housing Board's sole opinion will be the best interest of the Housing Board. What? Short list of candidates. After careful review of all submitted proposals, depending upon the number of submittals, selection committee for the Housing Board may identify a reduced candidate shortlist using a rating system set forth herein. Once the shortlist is established, the applicants may be contacted and invited for an interview with the option of committee and/or the housing board. The final selection is subject to the approval of the housing board of commissioners.
Well, that's
No, it's not.
That's the
That's
town.
not real.
That's the town.
Yeah. So the only other thing that I see in here is she mentions like an evaluation committee.
That would be us.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think in general, through this whole section, I'm gonna ask her like a general question of just like, again, what we want to reflect here is that we're coordinating this and evaluating this stuff, but ultimately the contract is with the town, so
Town board has the.
the town board, you know what I mean? So however she needs to redo the language to reflect that reality is what we would like to see.
And at some point, the town board should do a resolution that delineates the authority and responsibilities and where they rest so that, you know, we don't overstep, but we don't do nothing, you know, that, you know, that should be a little bit more firmed up. And that would be more what the town has to do as opposed to what we have to do.
And I think that that'll be, I actually think that, I mean, it's definitely something for us to think of, but I think it'll also probably very naturally come about as we're negotiating the lease and the management contracts, because then we'll kind of figure out like, okay, someone will have to oversee this project, or this part of it, like, who is it gonna be, you know? So I think we should start thinking about it, but I think that there'll be like kind of natural points where we'll have to be like, is this here or is this there?
There may be places where we're given the authority to proceed, but the town reserves
Yeah.
the overall authority to approve.
Yeah. So to be considered. Now, the cool part about this is we already did the points part. This is
Yes,
the part.
I know, I was so happy when I
So we
read
just get
that.
to skip this page because we already did it. All right, so general instructions. So here we are. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow, okay, starting business. General instructions, acceptance of proposals. Proposals must be signed, sealed, and received, completed form at the community, Shelter Island Community Housing Board, blah, 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 blah. Attention, me, no later than the proposal date. The Housing Board reserves the right to accept or reject all proposals, issue addenda, take exception to these RFP specifications, or waive any informalities. Proposers may be excluded from further consideration for failure to fully comply with the requirements of this RFP. Time for receiving proposals. Proposals received prior to the proposal date will be kept secure and unopened. No proposal received after the proposal date will be considered. Proposals are not publicly read or opened. When submitted, the proposals become the property of the Housing Board. Withdrawal of a proposal. Proposals received prior to the proposal date may be withdrawn on a signed or written fax request by the received by the written. I'm not, Jessica, we're not gonna,
Email.
yeah,
Emailed.
Right, I mean,
we're not gonna make you get faxes. We like
too
you.
many legal documents still
Yeah.
have facts in them.
Received by the Housing Board prior to the proposal date, award of contract. The successful offer will be notified at the earliest practicable date. An award will be subject to HUD approval. Is that real?
I don't know if that.
I don't think we have.
I think
I
that's
think
gotta
that
be.
that's not for us. No award will be made to the firm that is on a list of firms ineligible to receive awards from the state, from federal or state governments, or from the Suffolk County or Town of Shelter Island. Guess if you're bad. Successful offer may be asked to provide proof of good standing prior to the award of contract. For preparatory costs, all costs incurred in the preparation, the presentation of proposals and negotiations thereof shall be wholly borne by each proposer. All supporting documentation submitted within each proposal will become the property of the Housing Board. Confidential material, any material submitted by the proposer is that to be considered confidential must be clearly marked as such. Okay, and then the proposed schedule, which this seems, like,
I'm
right-
sorry, I'm gonna
Yes, yes.
do another dumb one. But
okay,
in all the places where it says will become the property of the housing board. I think it should say will become the property of the housing board and the town of Shelter Island.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I think that one of the next parts is just looking at the, we're gonna have to like, this is the order things should go in, and then I think my guess would be in the next review or two, we probably need to kind of start thinking about if we talk to Miriam, then we feel like we're getting closer, which I actually really,
It's, whenever this gets finalized and
Yeah.
stamped final, then you
Yeah.
can start putting in all those.
yeah, then we get like the date, so. But RFP issued, walkthrough, pre-proposal conference, submission deadline, shortlist created if applicable, review, shortlist created, conference pay, selection. Anticipated timelines, issue RFP, receives submissions, select developer, execute development contract, construction agreement, leasing agreement, covenants, restrictions to be reported, submission of applications for various funding sources and commitments for financing issued, submit application for site plan approval to the town of Shelter Island, performance and payment bond issued with dual rider, proposed construction start, completion, additional certificates of occupancy issued for 100% occupancy, leasing of units for 100% occupancy. General information, you are invited to respond to RFP to select a developer as set forth herein. Your proposal may provide for more than the minimum outline requirements to enhance your proposal for the community in the town of Shelter Island. The following information is provided for your use. There are no known asbestos or hazardous materials in the site. However, an environmental review will be required. We already did an environmental review. Yeah. So I'll just mention that on Southbury. Done. The housing board will not be responsible or liable for any delays in schedules or timeframes set forth throughout the RFP. The design will be in accordance with with local and state codes, as well as with fair housing accessibility guidelines. The existing proposed design concept that the housing board accepts is preliminary and may be revised in the design development process, provided it is approved by the housing board in the town of Shelter Island.
We have to go back up to
Yeah.
environmental review. I was thinking about like this phase 1, phase 2 that we did at Highway, but I think this is just a type 1 environmental review that's required for projects.
So I think what
So
you're
I
saying
sort
is
of
leave
is-
it in?
Yes.
Okay, no,
It's a
okay.
I was thinking of one type of review, but it's a different.
Okay, cool, perfect. So then I'll just leave that in. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back through just some of the notes so that like when I write these up for, and then it sounds like we're gonna be scheduling a meeting with Miriam very soon. So basically, we're adding in that the documents are gonna become the property of the housing board in town of Shelter Island. We took out that part about HUD approval, why is it there? We love Jessica and we don't know faxes. The final, so then there's that whole space in the technical proposal and format, where there's just kind of a lot of questions as to how the language should reflect the role of the housing board
In the town.
and the town, and I think that she needs to legalese that. We definitely we said that we want 8 designs for consideration.
No, not 8 designs.
No, I know, yeah, 8 copies.
Yeah, 3 designs.
Needs to be in there. Yeah. Put that.
Poor guy would be like, oh, forget it.
I love it, though, I want so many.
I wonder if Miriam meant come up with 3 different designs.
3 like
Yeah, that's-
schematics, like let's put
Yeah.
houses here or
Yeah,
over here.
yeah, that's what I
or-
thought.
Actually, now that you said, now maybe that's what
That's
she
what I
meant.
thought, that's
So
what I
we
thought.
could put a question mark on that.
Well, I thought, yeah, because you could say like.
Actually, Michael Shatkin did the best one. I thought his looked
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Because we don't have much of a choice because of the wetlands.
yeah,
Yeah.
And we want to leave space, if we ever get
yeah, Yeah.
approval to build more.
Yeah.
So it's really, I'd say 2 is basically what.
Okay, so maybe we'll
Yeah.
say, okay, so we basically took out in the scope of services, basically, we need to change that to reflect that we have septic and we don't have public water, so that just needs, so there's like a.
It's Suffolk County Department of Health. is the
Yeah, and then there's like sewage treatment, but that's not for us.
Septic.
And then authorization and license to practice, we basically need to make sure that they have a town of Shelter Island.
Yeah, and they get
Within
30 days
30
from their
days.
submission.
In the financial stability, we're gonna change the certified to compiled. We want them to participate in town board meetings. Oh, sorry, did I skip it?
You could say compiled or certified, because if they have certified, we want it.
You can always do more. We
Yep.
already said you can
Right.
always do more.
Yeah.
And then we had a question as to the 80 to, like, are we gonna do 60, start at 60, and so, we're gonna just have like some section 8 questions. Dudes. You did it. That was amazing. So I'm gonna take our notes from last time, these notes, bring them to Miriam, go through this,
get it
and
on the
bring
draft.
us back, hopefully, in time for our next meeting, another rev. And then if you have any things that you're like, oh, I didn't bring them up at these last meetings, send them over before Bill and I have that conversation. That's it.
I think when we have our conversation, we need to start to get her to work on the initial drafts of both. We talked about the lease, but also the management agreement, because we're going to need some time for us to review it
Well, yeah,
before we even decide to share
well,
it with
here's the
anyone.
thing. I think let's just get this RFP
Yeah.
done, and then let's take it, because we don't even have this issued yet. But I hear you. I hear
Because
you.
I think it's going to take longer.
I know, but if we,
I just don't want things getting bogged down.
Well, this is the first.
yeah.
Yeah, no, this has
let's
gotta be
do-
done,
Yeah,
but-
okay, so let's, Bill, you and I will connect and make a time with Miriam to go through this, and then we will commit to having this back to the group by the next meeting,
Next meeting is next Thursday,
not my next Thursday.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It is?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
we
here's
Which might be a little ambitious.
well, let's,
August 8th? Yeah.
I'll try,
Oh, it is. I won't be able to be here.
okay.
Let me ask us a dumb question.
Wednesdays are better for me.
Should we move our meeting from, since we did it this week, and give Miriam another time? So from 2 weeks from today.
That's all how this room is utilized.
Right, yeah, but I'm saying approximately 2 weeks.
I'm gonna just say that I am moving my middle daughter to college
that's- I
that
know
week,
that, yeah.
so that week is out for me. But how about this? Why don't I call Miriam tomorrow? See what's possible. Right? Why don't we just start there,
I like it.
and then we can just go from there. I mean, there might be a version of the world. We do have a bunch of other stuff that we need to cover, like the stuff going on with the ADU grant and stuff like that. Or we might have an extra meeting
Right,
in August. Like, we do have like a lot going on right now, especially getting this out. So let's try to get it done. And if we have to have an extra meeting, just pre-RFP, then.
no, that makes sense.
Like, we will aim not to, but like, if it happens, it happens.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. 'Cause it's-
I mean, it's like, it's pretty big. Like, we're in the middle of like this massive ADU rollout, and we're doing an RFP. Like, it's like, the fact that we can't like cover it in 1 hour a month is like. Yeah.
That's why
I think it's
I'm concerned about us being the bottleneck, when all these documents start to flow. That's,
Yeah. I feel like this works pretty good though, like just going through it
Yes.
together.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think that was, yeah. Do we have any old business that we
I
want to?
just have a question for Amber. Let's say a house closes on or about July 15th. When does that Picanta fund get, how long does it take to get that, like 30, 60 days?
For the community housing.
Yeah.
Authority, I just got the check yesterday for June.
Oh, okay, so you're looking,
A little less.
okay, we're gonna get a big one in August. Because there
Ooh,
was a big sale.
I mean,
It should be 52,250 on one house.
wow.
Nice.
Cuckoo.
And that fund, I had no idea how fast it racked up. I was thinking 200,000 in like 3 years, and look where we are already. That'll put us over $500,000.
Yeah.
It adds up.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, this, like, this project is probably gonna be probably like 4, but you know what I mean? Like the next, here's the thing that makes me so excited is like, by the time we do our next community housing plan, if we came forward and there was I'm literally just making stuff up, but the community was or we found there's a need to do a senior housing situation, we might have the cash to just
Yeah.
do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's the coolest part.
Or a good, yeah,
Or bond part of it.
Yeah.
We'll have-
But
Yeah,
we would have a significant,
yeah.
by that time, we should have, we could do some real stuff with it, so it's so cool. New business, I think it's just that Bill and I gotta lawyer it up.
We gotta look at our schedule.
On the agenda anyway.
What?
Is this old business?
Yeah, I know, see, okay,
He wants a motion to adjourn, I can feel
I'll
that.
make it.
all right, do it. We have a second.
Motion to adjourn. Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm sorry, actually.
Julie.
Julie, I'm sorry. Did you have any questions for us, Julie?
Questions, thank you.
Okay. We're in a rush. All right, let's go back to we were second. All in favor,
I.
have a great night. Thanks for a good time.